Hey everyone, my name is Misha Blackman and welcome back to my channel where we talk about loving Jesus, building wealth, and living life from a millennial Christian perspective. So in today's video, we're going to be answering one financial question. And that question is, in these current uncertain economic times, if I have a student loan that is currently in repayment and the payments have been deferred due to the crisis that we are all facing, should I continue to make payments to my student loan, or should I take that money and put it in an emergency fund instead? So if you yourself are wondering what to do in this situation, I'm going to tell you right now. The answer to this question really depends on your own personal situation right now and three different factors. So first off, do you still have a current job during this time period? Are you still fully employed? Are you still receiving a steady income and a secure income? So are you confident that you're going to be able to hold on to your job for the next little while, the next several months, or the next year? Secondly, or alternatively, are you uncertain about your job? Are you in a place where you're not sure if you'll be able to keep your job for the next little while? It's basically just really unsecure. Or are you in a situation where your income is completely reduced, you're out of a job, and you do not have any funds coming in? Those things are the things you have to analyze before determining if it's a possibility or a good idea to continue to pay your student loans. Now, when I refer to student loans in this video, I'm in Canada, so I am talking about the OSAP loan, so the Ontario Student Assistance Program in Canada. I know that student loans have also been deferred in the States as well, so there are many different student loan programs, so definitely go to your own student loan website and look at the details, but I know many programs have deferred payments for at least 6 months during this crisis period. So in regards to the OSAP student loan program, payment deferral began in April of 2020 and is to go on for the next 6 months. So during that time, no payments are required to be made, as well as all interest incurred has stopped. So your principal amount will not continue to grow during this period, and you don't have to be stressed about making your payments or having interest build up on your current loan balance. So in my case, fortunately enough, I am still employed during this time, and I believe that my job is fairly secure, at least for the remainder of this year. We can never guarantee anything. So even if promises are made in our organizations, that's why it's always important to have multiple streams of income. That's a whole other video. For now, I do believe that I'm pretty secure in my job. So if you have not watched actually my last financial video, I'll link it up here. But I did mention different ways that you can save money during this quarantine period. And I mentioned that I have been able to save some funds. So in that case, I decided that I wanted to continue paying my student loan. So I do have an OSAP loan in repayment, and I've decided that even during these 6 months where payments are deferred, I'm gonna take advantage of this opportunity because interest is not being accumulated on top of my principal amount. So what I want to do is make my minimum payment and a little bit more. So I've decided to make my minimum payment and add another $100 on top of that payment, at least, just so that I feel like now I'm paying a little bit more and that total amount is coming from my principal amount. And then I've decided that I also want to save in an emergency fund as well. So I'm trying to do both because based on my own situation. I'm trying to continue making my normal payments as I normally would, but adding a little bit more, and then taking a little bit of extra funds and putting it into a high interest savings account. I also did mention that in my last financial video as well, how to open a high interest savings account. You can check that out in the cards. There is a way to find out, to analyze your loan that is in repayment. It's really important to understand the interest and everything that is happening with your loan so that you can effectively pay it down successfully and as quickly as possible. So if you currently have an Ontario student loan, you can follow these instructions to quickly see at a glance the details of your loan in repayment. So once you go to the student loan website, this is not the OSAP website, it's actually the National Student Loan Service Center website, and I'm going to link that in the description box below as well. All of this actually will be in the description box below, so don't forget to check that box. When you first log into the National Student Loan Service Center website, you'll be able to see at a glance your loan details. So you'll see the principal amount that is left owing. You'll also see your interest rates towards the bottom, whether it's fixed or whether it's prime floating rate. It also shows you a daily interest amount in dollars. You'll be able to see your minimum payment amount. You'll be able to see your due date every month, as well as your term length. So the amount of months you have remaining, if you stay at this same payment amount, how long it's going to take you to pay off your entire balance. So it's really good to look at that and get an overview of what you're looking at. And then you can decide if you want to increase your payment, decrease your payment, just adjust it to suit your situation. When you view your loan statement, you'll be able to see a listing of all of your most recent payment amounts. And then from that amount, how much was taken for interest and how much actually went towards your principal amount. And then at the very right, it will show you your current balance, so what is left to be paid. So I always like to take a look at that, and I see the amount I paid, and then I see how much of it actually went to the principal balance. And it's usually very sad because oftentimes it's like 50% of that payment, that hard-earned payment that you're putting in, goes to paying interest. So if you add up all the interest that you're paying on the student loan, it's a lot. That's why I really want to take advantage of the 6 months where we don't have to worry about interest and our complete and total payment is going directly to our principal balance. Now, seeing as these times are obviously really uncertain and a lot of people are dealing with financial hardship, job loss, unemployment, etc., I would not suggest that we should take all of our extra funds and put it towards paying debt, student loan being one of the types of debt. I wouldn't suggest that. It's definitely important to save some cash as a cushion. And as I mentioned in my previous video too, having an emergency fund is very important. So I would definitely suggest that if you do want to take advantage of the student loan deferral period, do so, but do so while you're also saving some as well. If you're not able to save any money at the same time as paying down your student loan, I would suggest that you save it instead of paying down the student loan, because I think that is more important given the current situation. So to look at the other side of the coin, if you're not in a position where you feel like you are pretty secure in your job and you have a stable income coming in monthly still, if you're in a situation where things are very uncertain or you don't have a job at all right now, you're not working during this time, you may not be able to pay anything to your student loan, or it just might not make sense. It might not be the smartest thing for you to be putting the little income that you may be getting into your student loan. In this case, I would definitely suggest that you take advantage of the deferral in the sense that you're not having to worry about making those payments and you're also not having to worry about interest accumulating on your principal balance. So you can just leave it alone for the 6 months that the government has given you, and then you can take any extra funds that you do have, put it into savings, or use it to live off of right now, because that is the point of the deferral of our student loan payments. They're trying to help us in these tough times. So don't beat yourself up if you're not able to take advantage of making increased payments. Just don't even worry about it if you're in that position. If I was in that position, I also wouldn't worry about it. And I have been in that position before. I've had a student loan for quite some time now, and I'm gonna make a completely separate video on paying off my own student loan. I just think I want to do it when I'm closer to the end of paying that off, and I'm ebbing and flowing with our current situation as well, and coming up with different strategies on how I can attack my student loan. So I don't have that all together yet myself. So once I do, then I will put together a video just talking about how I paid everything down. But in the past, I did defer payments for different reasons. There were other ways for you to do payment deferral, interest relief through OSAP when I was still working part-time and different financial situations. So there was times when I wasn't paying my student loan at all, and there was times when I was paying a very, very small amount. So don't beat yourself up if in these 6 months you're not paying it. It's not a big deal if you're in a situation where you can't. Okay guys, so I just wanted to answer that quick question on student loan repayment during this period. Student loans can be really daunting, and I completely understand that. When you've had a student loan hanging over your head for a really long time, sometimes it's just easy for you to put it on the back burner and just be like, I'm not worrying about my student loan, pay down other important debts and just focus on other financial goals and have it sitting there. But speaking from experience, that is, in the grand scheme of things, not the best idea, because most of the time it's not going anywhere. You will still have to pay it at some point, and the longer it sits there, you are paying the government interest. So they are just making money off of this. And we don't want to do that. So if you can in this season, that's why I'm just promoting taking advantage of the interest-free time period that we have. If you are able to do that, it's best to get ahead of it and just keep paying it and increase it if you can. So there's two things that I'd love for you guys to keep your eyes open for. One is what I just mentioned. I am going to put together a student loan video once I have finished tweaking my own strategy of how I'm paying my own student loan down. And when I'm closer to paying that off, I will have a video out for you guys. I'm also working on a 3-part debt series. I've gotten a lot of questions from viewers and friends on if I'm going to be doing videos on how to pay down debt and like techniques on how to pay down debt, especially consumer debt, and I definitely want to tackle that. I myself have had a lot of consumer debt in the past that I was able to successfully pay down, so I want to explain how I did that. I'm going to be doing a 3-part series. First video being like what is debt, the basics on what is debt, what is credit, what is consumer debt, etc. Second video is basically like how to manage consumer debt, how to manage credit responsibly, and how to work on different ways on paying down your consumer debt. And then the third video would be all about credit and credit score, explaining what your credit score is, how to see your credit score, how to better your credit score. So if you guys are interested in that, definitely subscribe to my channel. I have a lot of great content planned for you guys. I really want to empower everyone to become financially literate and financially secure and only depend on yourself for financial freedom. We cannot depend on organizations. We cannot depend on our 9 to 5. We cannot depend on other people. We have to be in control of that. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and you got something from it. Definitely click the thumbs up button if you did, share and subscribe, and I will see you guys next Monday with another video. Bye guys.